Mr. Cockrel, the city of Detroit has just finished one of its most horrible chapters in its history. A mayor convicted of 2 felonies and jailed for that. As interim mayor, you signed a legal document claiming that you had met all the requirements to seek the office of mayor. You claim that you received a waiver for $42,000 from someone who you cannot remember in the county clerk's office. Documents circulating between your camp and the clerk's office indicate that that was not true, and that your organization was aware that you owed the $42,000 in fees. Kevin Deese reported this evening that Attorney General Mike Cox has launched in high gear an investigation into the matter to see whether or not you committed perjury. First, how does one ignore or forget a $42,000 debt? Secondly, can the citizens of Detroit believe you?
Okay, first off, I didn't ignore it, nor did I forget it. As a matter of fact, when the fines were assessed against me almost 2 years ago, my campaign immediately began working with the county clerk's office as well as an attorney that we retained to try to get that issue resolved. And there are 2 things that the citizens of Detroit need to know about what I knew when I signed that document. First and foremost, I did not commit perjury, and the reason why I didn't commit perjury is because at the time I signed that affidavit filing my nominating petitions, I had actually submitted all of the appropriate paperwork regarding errors and omissions, which I was requested by the county clerk's office to file. Those were submitted before I filed my nominating petitions. Also, in addition to that, I was informed by a representative of the county clerk's office that those fees would be waived. In addition to that, I think it's important to remember one thing. The claim of perjury that was filed against me was actually filed by Adolph Mongo, who is a well-known operative of the former mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick. And I think when you consider that, it's pretty clear to me that what this is really all about is not alleged violations of the law, but it's about somebody's personal political agenda. I met with the Attorney General's office at my own invitation 2 weeks ago. They didn't seek me out. We contacted them and said, look, we'd like to sit down with you and I want to answer any questions that you may have. And they took me up on that offer and we met. Frankly, it was a very productive meeting. I hesitate to crystal ball what may or may not happen from here, but what I can say is that I'm confident that this matter will be resolved and be resolved in a positive fashion. I did not commit perjury, pure and simple, and the citizens of Detroit need to understand that.
Mr. Jacobs. Well, why didn't you pay the $42,000 that you knew you owed, number one? You're talking about waiving the $42,000. If you owe something, pay it. It's as simple as that. When they put the pressure on you, that is exactly what you did. Why it took you 2 years to do that, I don't know. The worst thing that we can do right now, we know that we've got a former mayor that's spending time in prison right now, in a jail. And we've got an acting mayor right now that's under investigation. How long do the citizens of Detroit need to endure this? We need to make sure that whoever we put into that office is somebody that we can trust and somebody that has a good background and has a record of doing the right thing.
Rebuttal?
I do. With all due respect to Mr. Cockrel, there are at least 2 and possibly 3 citizens that have also stepped in to file that claim against interim Mayor Cockrel. But look, Detroiters here, at the end of the day, we're talking about ethics, we're talking about integrity, we're talking about accountability, and we're talking about transparency. When you raise your hand and take an oath, that's supposed to mean something. When you say, when you sign a document, when you give your word, that's supposed to mean something. We need a mayor that's going to say what he means and means what he says, and that's what I'm about.